somebody was changing something here. Nectar of the Holy Name from the book of Search for Sri Krishna by Srila Goswami Maharaj. You must chant more Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, not with the hands, with the mouth and hearing. God through sound. Srila Goswami says that only a superficial study of the Vedas will frustrate us. But if we search with a positive mind, by the grace of the sadhus, the acharyas and the Maharajas we will find that the principal shrutis are leading us towards the conception that the whole object of all the Vedic sounds is that central sound. Did you read this yesterday? No. The holy name of Krishna. There are so many sections of the Vedas that have come to distribute the dealings of the absolute realm. But there must be a center. So the principal sounds are all emitting light like a torch. Show us that they have a central sound which represents the supreme whole, and that is Krishna. So many liberated souls are all around offering their respects to the name of Krishna. That central sound from which all Vedic mantras have come to give us some idea of the sound aspect of the absolute center. This is Rupa Goswami's argument. The branches of the Vedas are all sounds, and so many sounds must come from the central position. They cannot but direct one who has a proper eye towards that fountainhead of sound, saying, go, run towards that direction. In our source you will find everything. We are all partial representing so many things, but we have a center. We have a fountainhead. Go in that direction and you will find the sound that can sufficiently satisfy you. And you may also be introduced to other aspects of that sound. The holy name of Krishna is most important. It is no less than Krishna himself. It fully represents the whole. Rupa Goswami says, the holy name, I take refuge under your lotus feet. O holy name, I take refuge under your lotus feet. You are the grand central sound who has given cohesion to all the sounds in the revealed scriptures. Srila Goswami, who was the spiritual master of Rupa Goswami, says, Jayadi, Jayadi, Namananda Rupam Murari Viramita Nitya Dhyana Bhutavyatnam Katam Sagitatam Muktitam Pranyam Yat Paramamrita Vikanam Chivanam Bhushanam Me. Let ecstasy in the service of the divine name be victorious. If somehow we can come in contact with that sound, Nam Rupam Murari. I think we were reading this yesterday already. But you don't remember. Oh, you have not heard. So, Nama Rupam Murari, all our other activities will be paralyzed. We'll have no necessity of performing any other activity. How many variegated duties will have no importance to us at all. If we achieve the service of divine name of Krishna. Dharma means the business engagement of the karmis, of furtive workers. Dhyan means retiring from this physical world. Dhyana means retiring from this physical world and performing meditation from within, trying to exploit the internal world. Both of these are stopped, paralyzed by the ecstasy of service to the divine name. The Ramanujana sect. Maybe continue here. This is a very high topic. No, not. New hope is aroused by that sound. Then by force it comes from the heart towards the tongue. Not that by the endeavor of my tongue I am producing that sound. No. What came from the heart of a saint to my ear entered my heart, and that forcibly appeared upon my tongue and began to dance. That is the holy name proper. It descends from above. It cannot be produced by the material form of this tongue. Its source is above. And through an agent of the Absolute, it comes to the ear, to the heart. From the heart it gathers some sympathy, then the holy name of Krishna forcibly appears upon the tongue and begins to dance. With great force it comes to the end of the tongue, and that sweet sound begins its dancing. So the real effects of the divine name have been described here. If it is a living and a real name, otherwise it is not real chanting. So it comes from above, it comes to our heart. And from our heart, it comes on our tongue. So when it comes from the heart, we very carefully have to chant that we are not losing the divinity of the holy name. We should not think that sound loud or slow or fast or whatever, what we are producing, what can be heard by our material, even mentally, may agitate us, the holy name, if it is not coming from the upper level. When it comes from the upper level down to the heart, it will not agitate either the body nor the mind. It is transcendental sound. It is real Krishna Nam. The real effects of divine name have been described here. It is a living and real name. If it is a living and a real name, the voice will be choked up. There will be shivering in the body, and the legs will be unable to stand. Sometimes tears will flow in a current on the body, and one's hairs will stand on end. Sometimes changes of color will be found in the body. They will be unable to find any trace of the mind or consciousness. We may fall in a swoon. The whole body and mind will appear as if it is being attacked by shivering and influenced in different ways. Apparently, it may seem that so many troubles are created in the body and the mind, but the real heart is overflowing with a particular kind of strange, sweet juice. We heard this already yesterday, but somebody was maybe I myself did wrong. This. You remember yesterday we spoke about Ramananda Roy and one Pradyumna Mishra. One devotees want to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam, and he sent him to Ramananda Roy. But when he saw Ramananda Roy and watched him for some time, he was training the young girls, young maids, in the dancing, because they were dancing before Jagannath, and he trained them, and he touched this also them. So he came back to him, to Mahaprabhu, and taught him, I have some doubt about Pradyumna. He is touching and he is very intimate with the maids, with the so that I am not ready to, or I am doubting to hear Bhagavatam from him. I'm just looking now where it continues, where we stopped. So he spoke to him, yes, I have heard from Ramananda Roy. My heart is full from hearing about from him. Oh no, this is mad for Krishna. Then Pradyumna Mishra again went to see Ramananda. Mahaprabhu sent him back again. And Ramananda began their conversation by saying, "Oh, on that day I could not oblige you. But again you have come to hear about Krishna. How fortunate I am." How fortunate I am is a devotee. When we watch when we speak in private, we are doing prasad. There is very rarely topic Krishna. We have all kind of topics. So Ramananda said, "I am very fortunate. But again you have come to hear about Krishna," and also Bhakti Thakur. One came to ask him to speak about Krishna to him. And he said, "You really want to hear about Krishna?" He asked a few times, "You really want to hear about Krishna?" Then he became very ecstatic and started, because very rarely we ask about Krishna. And want to know something more, something deeper. So Ramananda said, "How fortunate I am." In the morning, Ramananda began to speak, and when the afternoon came, still he was madly thinking about Krishna. He completely forgot about eating, bathing, or anything else. He was mad and incessantly speaking of Krishna. Then when it was late, his servant came thrice to ask him to take part and eat his dinner. Finally he had to leave the talk and go. Then Pradyumna Mishra returned to Mahaprabhu and said, "Yes, I have heard from Ramananda Roy. My heart is full from hearing about Krishna from him." Mahaprabhu himself had heard from Ramananda Roy, and he said, "Ramananda knows what is Krishna. What I taught to Rupa and Sanatan, I heard from Ramananda." It is mentioned that Mahaprabhu took Diksha initiation from Ishwarapuri. For preaching purposes, he took sannyas, the renounced order, from Keshavaradi, and for entrance into the transcendental pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. He took Ragamarg initiation from Ramananda Roy. Of course, Ishwarapuri, Keshavaradi, Ramananda Roy never thought of themselves as the Guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it was seen that Mahaprabhu treated Ramananda with some respect. It is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that if one wants to enter into the spontaneous devotion of Krishna's pastimes in Vraja, it is required that he take shelter of a confidential maid servant in conjugal mellow, Maturya Rasa, Shakibina Ilailaya and Yeranahi Kati. They are masters of that situation. The whole storehouse of this Maturya Leela is in the hands of those maid servants. Only they can give it to others. In Maturya Rasa, the Guru is seen in the form and spirit of a Shaki, a maid servant of Radharani, Guru Rupa Shaki. Ramananda Roy was Vishaka Shaki, the right hand personal attendant of Srimati Radharani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us a hint of the necessity of approaching a confidential associate of Srimati Radharani when he says to Ramananda, "Kiva Vipa Kiva Nasa Sudha Kenanai, Ye Krishna Tattva Veda, say Guru Roy, why do you shrink away from instructing me. I am learning so much from you. You are well versed in the affairs of Krishna, so you are Guru. Therefore I am hearing from you. Whoever is the master of that storehouse of Krishna Lila, and whoever can distribute it, he is Guru of this. There is no doubt. The famous talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took place on the banks of the Godavari river. The name Godavari is significant, for it indicates the place where the highest fulfillment of our spiritual senses was given. And this, I remember that the first temple our Guru Maharaj opened was on Godavari river. The fullest engagement of all our senses was announced there on the banks of the Godavari. Your senses are not to be rejected. If you can give up the spirit of exploitation and renunciation, then your senses will have their fulfillment with Krishna. Those tendencies bear your approach to Krishna. To properly approach Krishna, you will have to utilize your senses to the fullest extent. That was dealt with on the banks of the Godavari. There's a famous conversation with Ramananda Roy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began the approach to pure devotional service in a general, comprehensive way. This is recorded in Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He asked Ramananda Roy, Prabhu kahe, pada shloka sadhyaranyanaya. What is the ultimate goal of life? Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda. I not only want to hear your statements, but also evidence from the scripture. So the answer comes from Ramananda Roy. Roya kahe, Svatamattarangni, Vishnu Bhakti hoy. Discharge your own duty without expecting anything in return. This is the first stage. Perform your duty without expecting anything in return. Swadharma means Vanashram Dharma. Then Vedic social stratification. You are boasted on your present position by your previous karma. According to your present position, you have to discharge your duties. On one condition, you must do them without remuneration. If you go on with your duties in Vanashram Dharma without any mundane aim, you can achieve Vishnu Bhakti, devotion to God. This is confirmed in the Vishnu Purana. Vanashrama chara ravadha purushena parabhuman Vishnu aradyate bandha nanyatat doshakaranam. The only way to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is to worship Him by properly executing one's prescribed duties in the social system of Vana and Ashrama. Our acharyas say that this Vana Ashrama system is nowadays not anymore. Even in India, you will very hardly find who follows Vanas, ashramas. It means he takes the person. Nowadays everyone wants to become, everyone is a brahmana. Even Westerners, when they join, they think, now I'm Brahmana. And, or they want to be like a Kshatriya king, means who gets very high position. But they do not know the duties of Kshatriya, they do not know their mentality and their, or Vaishya. Now, everything is mixed now. We are all shooters, lower than shooters now. But we want to be something else. But it was a time where they were satisfied. Even Shudra were satisfied with in their position to serve their other castes. They did it. There was no revolution. Nowadays everybody is this illusion. Our Gurudev, he told us, in the Western it's impossible. Swami Maharaj, he wanted to install Varnashram, but Gurudev said, it's impossible. Westerners can never follow the system of Varnashram Dharma. Means automatically they all do for Krishna. Here Ramananda says that Vishnu Bhakti adherence to the Lord is permitting everything, is the object and ultimate destination of our life. This is the Vasudev conception. Everything is in him. He is everywhere. Ramananda explained that. Just, you have to imagine, just imagine, you cannot keep this in your heart. But as he says here, everything is in him and he is everywhere. Means everything you see, everything you experience on the subtle level, on the gross level, is in him. Everything is in him and he is everywhere because it is coming from him. This kind of consciousness, this kind of understanding is the very beginning. What he speaks now is very beginning. So Ramananda explained that from our local interest he must come to embrace the general interest. That must reach to the level of Vishnu consciousness, Vishnu Bhakti. Our submission to Vishnu, the internal spirit, who is everywhere, is the object of life. We must connect with him and live accordingly. Not a phenomenal life, but a spiritual life, pertaining to a deeper, more subtle plane. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is superficial, he said. It is not natural, this kind of. It is superficial. Go deeper, Mahaprabhu says. Tell me more deep, tell me more. So go deeper. Of course, it may be thought that actually theistic life begins from here, giving up the special local purpose and acting for an universal purpose, as already ordered and programmed in the Vedas and Upanishads. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is superficial. Go deeper. Then Ramananda Roy said, Krishna Kamavana Sarva Satyasara. To offer the results of one's activities to Krishna is the sense of all perfection. In Varnashram Dharma it is the fashion that people are generally engaged in external activities and do not care to give up the fruits of their action. Even if they do, they have no direct consciousness of Vishnu or Krishna. They worship the goddess Durga, perform the Shraddha funeral ceremony, and execute so many other religious practices. Indirectly, it is ultimately connected with Vishnu. They may or may not know how, but the link is there. That is the general conception of Varnashram. But here Ramananda says that it will be better to have a direct consciousness that Krishna is the authority. All the results of whatever we do within the Varnashram social system must be given to Krishna. If we perform all our physical, social, national, spiritual activities in Krishna consciousness, then we can approach the fulfillment of our goal in life. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is superficial, go deeper. It was also not enough. It is superficial. You go deeper. Then Ramananda revealed new light, quoting Bhagavad Gita, Savadaman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vata. Give up all duties and just surrender to me. We must be particular with the object of life, not the external activities of Varnashram. Less importance should be given to the form of our activity. Whether I am a king, a brahmana, intellectual, or a worker does not matter. We may think, I have this sort of duty, I have that sort of duty. But that does not matter very much. You must have no attachment for that. The king will leave his kingdom and take to a Brahmanic life of renunciation and austerity. A Shudra may give up his labor, become a beggar and chant the name of Krishna. A Brahmana may give up his performance of sacrifice and become a mendicant. So we are to be particularly about the aim of life, not the form of our duty. We must exclusively devote ourselves to the cause of the Lord, ignoring our present paraphernalia and duty. So, who can follow? You understood what I mean now. And according to this, we can see where we are standing, on what level we are moving. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is also superficial. Savadaman Parityaja. We pray this, we preach this, we tell this, Savadaman Parityaja. But Mahaprabhu said this is also superficial. Go deeper, there is something more. Then Ramananda explained Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Devotional service mixed with knowledge. By quoting from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakangshati Samasaveshu Bhuteshu Matbhaktim Lapathe Param. One has come to the stage of identifying himself with spirit. This is a very important thing. One who comes to the stage of identifying himself with spirit above matter has nothing to do with this mundane world. So we have to come to this level where we are not identified with anything in this world, not with body, not with country, not with anything what exists here. Identifying himself with spirit above matter has nothing to do with this mundane world. So here doesn't have to fear anything, whatever may happen, because he is not identifying It's the same thing when you're dreaming. You identify, you may suffer, you may enjoy in the dream. But if you come to the level of that you identify yourself as spiritual beings, then this will not disturb. You will tolerate whatever may come from the external plane, on the external plane. Any loss or gain in this mundane world is of no use to him. He is spirit. His prospect is in the world of soul. He has nothing to do with this material world, whether it is laudable or blamable. He is already settled in the consciousness that he is soul proper. It has nothing to do with matter. So within himself he feels satisfaction. He is Atmarama, self-content. He neither mourns nor aspires for anything. If something is lost, does he mourn? No. He thinks this is nothing, it is only matter. When something is gained, he is not overly cheerful because it is only matter, it is unnecessary and unimportant. Now true devotional service can begin. His soul can begin living in the spiritual plane with a pure serving attitude, unmixed with any mundane aspiration. When one attains the spiritual platform, he gets the opportunity to practice a higher type of service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is also superficial, he said. It is also not. Such a person is only on the verge of devotional service. He has no substantial touch of devotion. He has not entered the domain of bhakti, he is just waiting in the marginal position on the door. He may attain bhakti, but he has not yet achieved it. His negative forces are finished, but still he is just on the door. He has not yet entered. He may enter, he may not enter from there. If he gets anything, it will be pure, but he is still on the door. There goes on a little more. Then they come to the goal of the bhaktas, of real devotees. We can hear tomorrow, is Saturday. It's a good, then we remember this. And go to Vrindavan and remembering this. There's any question or anything? Go deeper. Hmm? Yes, many steps to do. That's why usually in our speaking we go only to Savadaman Varityaja, but this is already, we may think this is already, we have attained the goal then. But this is not, it goes much further, much deeper. We must identify ourselves as spiritual beings. We have nothing in this world. Die to live. All these things have to die if you want to live. Awesome. Hare Krishna. No questions, then you can close here. Jai Srila Siddhadev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai. Sri Ramanandarai ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jai Gaur Brahmanandi. Srila Bhattarupi Assa Pasindhu.